Hi guys, Rich from TrackSpark here with this month's tutorial. Hope everybody is well um, and having a nice summer. So let's get on with the tutorial. As always, I like to sort of pass on things that I'm going through currently, work-wise, whether it's compositionally or mixing tips, sort of thing. And this month's sort of ties in pretty nicely with the fact that I'm going to be using the plugin that's in this month's pack. Um, and it's a Transient Designer by Audio Assault. So I was just looking at these drums, mixing these drums, and I thought they needed a bit more punch, and also tightening up as well. And I was using a Transient Designer. I've got two or three that I sort of flip between, and yeah, and like I say, luckily, we've got a Transient Designer in this month's pack, so it's a bit of a demo for that as well at the same time. So let's get on with it. And then I'll show you what I'm gonna do. Let's just listen to the drums quickly. So it's just a bit of a sort of downbeat, sort of rock, straight rock tune. And like I said, they need, in my eyes, I think they need sort of punching up a little bit. I'm just going to turn this master up a little bit so we can hear it a bit better. Right now, yeah, I think I'm just going to put it on the kick and the snare, and then a little bit on the overall drum bus. And so I'll show you what I do just to make them a bit more punchy. So let's start with the kick, shall we? So here we go. Right, on the kick, I've got a gate anyway. So let's just, and it's the gate's just cleaning out a bit of the snare and the hi-hats and stuff. You can obviously still hear the snare kicking through a little bit, but mainly we've got the kick itself. So, but it's feeling a little bit flat and a little bit flabby. So, um, here's the Transient Designer here by Audio Assault. So I'm just going to turn it on, and this first little knob, it looks a bit like a Neve channel, doesn't it? Um, and I'm just going to increase the attack so to give us loads of punch. And I'll put this setting back actually, and show you what I'm doing with that. So we've got the mix on full, the output set. It's level wise, it's not making any difference. So let's just listen to the kick with some a bit more attack on it. You can really feel that kicking it, punching out now. Let's take it off and then on. It's really popping out now. So what else? I'm also just going to bring back the sustain, and just to tighten up that kick. Take it off. It's probably, there we go. So that kick's really tighter and popping out, punching out. So let's listen to. So that's the kick done. Now let's move on to the snare. I've got my snare bottom, snare top, and then I've just got them through this little bus here. Each snare channel I've got a gate on as well. So we can let's have a listen to the snare on its own. Right, again, I'm gonna actually for this one I've got a different Transient Designer here. This one's Native Instruments. It does pretty much the same thing. I did go through I did try the Audio Assault one, but what I want to do here is, although I've got the snare gates, the gates on the individual top and bottom snares, it's just feeling a little bit too tight, and I just want a little bit more rattle. I just want that snare just to last a tiny bit longer and bring out some of the actual snare rattle itself. So I'm lengthening and using this transient to lengthen the snare sound here. So let's listen to it without. Now with. Really tight there, and a little bit. You can just hear the rattle just coming out a little bit longer, and this one just seemed to work a little bit better on this particular snare than the other transient designers that I've got. So that's what I've done with that snare. Now I've got a little bounce, a little mix of these snares here. I've called it snare bounce, and what I've done is I've just EQ'd, obviously EQ'd the lows out of it, and the top. So what I'm after here is a bit of low mid punch. Alright, and it sounds rubbish on its own, obviously, muffled like it's coming through a cardboard box. But I only want that frequency there that you can see just popping there. So I've taken out some of the top and the bottoms. But what I'm also going to do is give the snare a bit more punch in that area using the Audio Assault Transient Plus. Give it more attack, and I'm just going to tighten it up because I literally just want that a really tight frequency. I've clicked 2 times here, which obviously means it's 2 timing. So it's like double, obviously. So let's listen to it. With it on. It's just that little sort of blip around the low mids, and it's making it just to give it that extra bit of punch. So let's just listen to the snares together. I'll take that out, take the and put it in. So those low mids, I've just got that extra bit of beef punching through in the low mid part of that snare now, which makes it nice and punchy. And then all I'm going to do is add a little bit more. So let's just listen to the kit now on its own with this extra, with these transient designers on. You can really hear the kick and the snare popping through. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the master bus. I'm not going to lengthen it, use a sustain or anything like that. I'm going to add a bit of punch using the attack just on the overall mix. Just take it off. And now on. Really bringing though the kick and the snare really sort of close sounding, which is what I wanted anyway. So yeah, so there you go, using a transient designer just to punch up your drums. And like I said, luckily we've got this transient designer that I'm using in the downloads in the pack this month. So get downloading, and yeah, and also I hope that was fairly useful for you as well. Cheers, bye.